Hello, this is Swords, and today is a bonus episode to finish off our week of small swords. Today we'll be doing a recap of all of the swords we've covered this week, as well as looking at measurements for each of these swords, as I've had many questions about specifics on various models. Day 1, we looked at this. It was an 1890 Castille Smallsword, probably from Britain, in the style of the Henry Poole swords, featuring a typical hologram triangular blade in the style of the late 19th century. It is 444 grams overall, with a 96 centimeter total length and 80 centimeters of blade length. It is thus fairly typical and has been our benchmark to which we've compared everything else. Next we look at this training small sword by Castille Armory. It's 644 grams, the heaviest among our selection, and has an overall length of 94 centimeters and a blade length of 79 centimeters. It has a so-called Colichemarde blade, but lacks a distinctive ridge you'd see on a proper hologram triangular blade due to safety reasons. We next look at this German model from 1900, which is technically a spadroon. It has a very slim blade, being intended for use as a state official's sword rather than for combat. It weighed 580 grams without the sword knot, is 93 centimeters in overall length, and has an 80 centimeter long blade. We then looked at this extremely uncommon sword, which has a full-length Colichemarde blade. It weighed 415 grams, was 85 centimeters overall, and had a 70 centimeter long blade, making it a little bit shorter than most of the swords here. We then looked at this incredibly unusual small sword, which has styling similar to a sidesword. It weighed 330 grams, was 100 centimeters overall, and had an 85 centimeter long blade, making it both our lightest sword and our longest. We then looked at this, a model of 1852 French ambassador's sword for the diplomatic corps. It weighed 375 grams, was 90 centimeters overall, and had an 80 centimeter long blade. The measurement for the blade, of course, does not include the clamshell for these three swords. We then finally looked at an unusual diplomatic sword from Poland, the model of 1934. This was 580 grams, with a 96 centimeter overall length and an 81 centimeter blade. Overall, you can group these into further distinct categories. The 1890 and the 1852 are typical small swords, with the main difference being the presence of fingerings or a lack of fingerings. However, the fingerings on the 1890 are vestigial and too small to use. You could then group the spadroons, such as this 1900 and this 1934. And from there you could group the Colichemarde swords, this training sword, and this extremely unusual sword from about 1730. Which leaves us all alone with this unusual hybrid here, which may have had a tilt replace or may have been made this way from the beginning. It's impossible to know, considering the finish is incredibly close on all of the individual components on this sword. I hope you've enjoyed this series, and I hope you look forward to other series of the type which I'll be doing as the years go by. This has been Swords, and this concludes our week of small swords. If you have any questions about any of the videos, feel free to ask them now. I hope you've enjoyed this week and this video in particular. Until next time, stay sharp. If you enjoyed this video, please like the video, leave a comment and consider subscribing to my channel.